Hello, today we have for you New Jersey Drive, a 1995 movie written and directed by Nick Gomez. Please subscribe. The movie begins with Jason, our main character, and Ron Q driving.
It's a stereo and a 440 under the hood.
She was live, Rob. Motherfuckers I had seen in years out there wrecking shit, boy.
It turned out fat, though.
Apparently, the kids had stolen a cop's car. Officer Roscoe, the main villain, not to bash the police, but of this movie he is.
Front left. Go.
Oh, shit. The fuck was that, man? Hold on, let me put this on.
Their tire is shot out by the police. They didn't even realize that they were up there. The officer started firing and Ron Q is shot. The guys get away on foot.
Police, fuck that! Police! Fuck for what? For what?
Yo, we was just walking,
He was just walking. Pick him up!
They hit Ronnie or something nasty.
Pick him the fuck up!
He kept telling me he didn't want to go upstairs. Because his mom would kill him for getting shot.
After they ordered the youth to surrender. There have been reports the car belonged to a Newark policeman. Many residents in the area are convinced the police shot Mr. Lambs out of revenge.
Here we're introduced to Midget, who is played by Gabriel Casseus. Jason is played by Sharron Corley. Midget's the other main character.
Next day, they put on a little show of their own for us. Flexing their muscles. Trying to let everybody know who's in charge. And there was always one who seemed to like his job a little bit too much. I knew we should be angry. My little sister was good at letting her know my business.
Jason's brought in on that suspected grand theft.
We was just riding. I mean, if it was stolen, it was stolen.
Made no difference to you.
No. You mean, did I see the police shoot him?
Did you?
The police was the only ones out there.
Now, do you think you can identify the officer you saw firing his weapon?
Asking me questions. Talking like it's gonna be an investigation or something. Come on, man. What they gonna do? Lock up some cop? For me?
The director and writer Nick Gomez actually didn't even get permission from Newark, New Jersey to film this movie, so most of it is actually shot in Brooklyn.
Court dates were so backed up that week, I hardly had any time left for school. And you always run into a familiar face.
Jason's at court and his buddies Tiny Dime and Midget are out looking for another car to steal just for the sake of joyriding. These guys really had aimless lives, which Jason is realizing really fast. He seems a little bit smarter than the rest of the people he runs with.
Back at school, I had to wait outside a half an hour because the metal detectors weren't working. Then somebody pulled the fire alarm. At that point, I just called it a day.
Jason, ignoring the advice of his lady friend over there, decides as soon as he gets out of court that he wants to get right back with Midget and Tiny Dime. They go and steal a 5.0 GT Mustang. I had one of these cars, one of my favorites. Tiny Dime sees the cops rolling up and all of a sudden they scramble. Everybody just gets in the stolen cars and then drives off. I don't know if they thought they were above the law, if they didn't know that Grand Theft Auto was a real thing, but joyriding at the time was a real thing, and Newark was considered the car theft capital of the world. As Roger Ebert said in 1995 when he reviewed this movie, the cops are mostly white and all the characters are black, so it sets the stage for racial confrontation. They end up getting away from Roscoe, who's driving a huge truck and can't maneuver as quickly as whatever that is they have, a Nissan Maxim or a Honda or something. Back to fun.
Hey, yo, I don't know. This store. Never forgot my money, man. Yo.
Cops finally find him, and Tiny Dime, who is still riding in the stolen vehicle from earlier, has an encounter with the police. He ends up being rammed by a police car, and that's the end of him, unfortunately. At the funeral, it looks like Midget is slapped by Tiny Dime's mother, who definitely isn't happy about her friendship with him. After that, they pour out a little liquor for their deceased homie. Walking home, it looks like Jason is pulled up on by the police. He wasn't actually doing anything. I'm not sure if Nick Gomez was looking to really paint a bad picture of the police of Newark, New Jersey, but as I said before, this movie wasn't actually shot in Newark. It was more so Brooklyn and Queens anyway.
Hey, Jason. I saw you stay the fuck away from grand juries.
Your moms want me to talk to you.
You see, you ain't got to worry about that. Not even if it was your business.
No, now it is my business. I am making it my business. You got a problem with that?
Just talking to him. Let me talk to him for a minute.
No, you can get inside. And you can get the hell out of here with the car, too.
Jason leaves home and goes to stay a few nights at Midget's house, whose brothers are all out of jail at the same time and really doesn't like it over there, it seems. Later on, he and Midget go out for a ride.
There it is right there, kid.
Hurry up.
Come on.
Oh, there you go.
There. No, don't try to throw him out now. It's too late. All right, guys. Okay, you have the right to be stupid-ass geek motherfuckers.
I think everybody would have been mad if I didn't put that scene in the movie. Now they're in a Jeep Wrangler. Every scene they're in another car. Out of luck this time. At the police station, he runs into the last person he wants to see, Officer Roscoe, who takes him into the back for a little interrogation, really just to rough him up a little bit and make sure he doesn't rat him out about the Ron Q shooting. He wants to make sure that Jason doesn't testify against him in a grand jury. He gets out of jail and his mom is worried about the bruises and marks on his face. Afterwards, he gets back with his friends and he sees his sister is riding around in a Lexus, which he notices is stolen, I guess because he doesn't think that they deserve to be riding in that car, so he pulls her out of it. He obviously doesn't want her doing what he's doing.
What's happening, baby?
Fuck you looking at me for?
How you feeling, man?
Officer Roscoe just always seems to be around. Midget, who wasn't doing anything, throws a beer bottle at him. Next thing you know, this scene, they ride up on him, they're drinking. They're obviously 15 or 16 years old. They shouldn't be drinking, but I mean, they're obviously, it seems like they're the only troublemakers in town. All the cops are just after these guys. Midget takes a beating.
Somebody loses? Hey, save anything for me, huh?
He's all right afterwards, though. He even finds his 40 that he thought might have busted on the ground.
Hey, yo, worker!
Catches up with his buddy Jason, and afterwards they're seen on a rooftop aiming a pistol at a cop car, which Midget decides he's just gonna blast. His buddies all join in and they just really just are excited about what he just did, so they go out and steal another car, take it to a chop shop, and the guy that they take it to isn't really happy about the quality of the car that they stole.
You want to do yourself a favor? You want to do me a favor? Go in the street and get me something to look at, my man, all right?
He never should have told Midget that, because he goes right over to the grocery store and sees a guy loading some groceries into the back of a car, decides he's just gonna get it from him. Jason, who really shouldn't even be in this altercation, he just got out of court, sees this and he rides up on him and just can't believe that Midget put him in that situation. Later on, Midget is seen feeding his grandmother and Jason appears and he's upset about what Midget put him into. So unfortunately, the cop saw the entire thing on video and the only person he saw once again happened to be Jason. It's kind of surprising Midget still hasn't been to court as of yet. Jason goes to the park and he's seen arguing with his buddy that he actually stole that police car with. Looks like they get into a fight. Roscoe goes over to Jason's house because of the videotape of the grocery store robbery, and Jason's mother confronts him actually. He and Midget go back to Midget's and they turn the corner and the police are there. Midget knows that he wasn't seen on camera, so he tells Jason to run, who runs and gets away, but not for long because the guy who he just fought in the park, he wants to talk to him about something, but it's nothing really to talk about, so the guy just starts blasting. Luckily, Jason makes it away alive after this, and he ends up getting back with his buddies in what looks like another stolen car. The guys are out joyriding, they're having fun. Looks like they ride up on a car that Midget wants to steal, but this turns out to be the wrong car. Jason is apprehensive about the theft. He doesn't like the neighborhood.
Why they coming here, man? Just come here for this shit, man.
It's actually a police sting. It's all being caught on camera.
Hey, my man. You out of luck this time.
And indeed he was. In fact, so was his buddy. He ended up trying to leave in that stolen car and he took a couple of bullets, unfortunately. And Jason finally goes to jail. Emotional moment with his mom. She reminds me a lot of my mom.
Petty, time's up. Let's go.
When they finally brought me on to that grand jury, so much has happened since then. It was like talking about ancient history.
That there was some wrongdoing on his part. He has admitted that he was not correct in regards to proper
She's real, boy.
procedure. My client has
Coming home, boy.
He's excited to see Officer Roscoe has been brought up on criminal charges.
One officer, Emil Roscoe of Glen Ridge, is now facing criminal charges.
He doesn't really say how long Jason was in jail, but when he gets out, he goes back on the block, runs into his buddy Midget, and seems that Jason actually wants to turn a new leaf. Midget goes off in that fateful van that you see at the end.
Stay real, kid.
Jason's hanging out with the lady friend from earlier, and all of a sudden they're carjacked. Midget and Jason get into a fight. Jason decides that he doesn't want to go out and get the guys that took the car. We see the last scene of Midget. Looks like him and his buddies are riding in that minivan that was probably stolen. All of a sudden they see flashing lights in the rear view. The next scene, you see that van flipped over, and that's the last you hear of Midget. The next day, Jason sees what happened on the news. His mother sees it and she's kind of upset to herself, and Jason has nowhere else to go but back to school.
I guess the house is quiet now. And up and down the block, you don't see anybody anymore. We were just trying to make our mark in the world. And if I've changed it all, it's only because I've seen too much. Even if I wanted to, there's no going back.
Don't forget to subscribe. Please tune in for the next video. I'll see you soon. This was Antonio's Movie Reviews, and have a great evening. Please subscribe.